Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Cam Williamson, and it is a damn pleasure to be here with you today. I'm excited that something that I bring up in little tidbits, let me get that out of the way. I know it's probably driving you guys nuts. A little tidbit that I bring up all the time. I say it constantly. Decisions in the moment. Cam, if I was better at making decisions in the moment, I wouldn't be here. Guys, I have bad news. This may be the last episode of the Road to Redemption podcast you ever listen to. I hope that's not. But I'm about to solve all your problems. Right here, I am the typical spiritual mental health teacher where I am claiming I'm about to fix all your problems in a single episode, but only if you thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell. I don't know why you would hit the bell because I'm giving you all the answers, so you don't need any more of my content. But if you feel like that's the magical spell, like, subscribe, bell, answers. How do we make better freaking decisions in moments of stress? Wow. Most time, we would write that off as a packed question, and we would discard it like when we think of big numbers like a billion. We just go, oh, that's a lot, and we fucking let it go. How do we make changes that will change our life when situations are hard, when we don't want to change, but we know we have to? I'm not talking about changes that other people are trying to make you do. Change that you want to make. How do we make it? How do we stop old patterns from repeating themselves and bringing the same bullcrap into our lives that keeps showing itself, that makes us so unhappy? How do we do that? We release judgment from anything and everything and anyone and everyone that was a part of moments behind us, right? Now, that doesn't mean we forget. That just means we release judgment of, meaning I am not trying to figure out why you did what you did or why life did what it did. I'm only looking at it for what it is. This happened. I responded this way. So, my father and I just had an amazing conversation, very healing conversation, very therapeutic conversation for me. And I said, Pop, I've really struggled. I've struggled my whole life with the fear that I'm going to die early. And when I became a father, that fear heightened. And I think, especially with my youngest, I'm with her every single day. That's the first time for me that I've been with my child from the day she was born. She's 3 now, and I've never missed, a moment of that, really, outside of when I've been with my oldest daughter being in Indiana, spending time with her, and I had to do that for a while. But when that change happened in my life, I reverted back, in a way, to a lot of old fears and a lot of primal ways of thinking and how I was brought up without even realizing it. And all of a sudden, subconsciously, this fear that I was going to die early came in, which I know is common for new dads. That I'm not going to be around to protect this person that I love so much, or that I'm going to leave early and I won't be able to fulfill all my potential for this person. My dad goes, yeah, I understand. He goes, we were talking about the medical issue I had when I was young. When I was 2, they thought I had blood or bone cancer or something like that. And I was kept in the hospital for a while. And Dad was telling me, he goes, Cam, that was really traumatic for you. Like, they had to hold you down. I had to hold you down. They would come in and take blood all the time. You were kept in like an incubator thing, like a little cage. He goes, it was rough for you. He goes, I think that was definitely more traumatic than you give it credit for. And he goes, and you have to look, your daughter is now about the age that you were when that was happening. And I said, Pop, that makes so much sense, because I was just talking about also on the podcast, my daughter will do this thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with her when she does it. Usually she's just acting out, but she'll go, no, 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 Daddy, please, no. And she'll cry, and it breaks me. It breaks me to my soul. And I immediately feel my primal survival instincts, my fight or flight kick on, which is I will do anything to stop that and protect that kid from feeling that way. That's despair. That's whatever. Now, unfortunately, my daughter's life, not unfortunately, fortunately, my daughter's life, she hasn't, gone through the same thing I have. So she has no reason to be acting the way she is doing that in the moment. But it's despair none the same. So my dad was like, that's very triggering for you, I think, when she does that, because internally that makes you go back to a time where you felt helpless and you felt like you couldn't communicate and you wanted someone to take care of you. And I thought about it and I was like, wow, when was the last time I would have really been in a situation like that? Not really before I was a kid, that I would have been that vulnerable, that I would have heard despair like that. I heard it a bit in Guantanamo Bay, and those two events kind of simultaneously came up together. But getting away from the point at hand and our reactions in moments, and how my daughter used to go, no, 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 despair, screaming, crying, used to send me off the handle. I'd flip, stop that, stop. You don't need to act that way. Whatever. Now, well, really over the last 6 to 8 months, we've really tried to practice gentle parenting, which is we don't raise our voice, and we really ask ourselves more, why should she not be allowed to do this? Why? Is there an actual reason, or are we just saying no because when we were brought up, we wouldn't have been allowed to do that? A part of that is like, she's allowed to give her take on things. So if I say no, right, if you can give me a good reason why, I'm open to listen to it. It doesn't mean I'm going to give it to you. But if you can tell me, Dad, I'm not feeling like eating and I would rather just have some milk or something, well, I'll listen to that. I'm not going to sit there and force you to eat food that's going to make you sick or you're not feeling good or whatever. But back in the day, meals were a stressful thing. Like finishing your meal was a big deal, and you sitting and eating when everyone else sat and ate was a big deal. And you just look at all the things that we are triggered by and are responsed by just in those little minute details of our life, like going and eating dinner with our family. If our child is not actively eating and they're engaging in childlike things, we get mad at them. No, you sit and you eat. When life happens and somebody cuts you off in traffic and that immediate flip out, there's some science to prove, or to suggest, I should say, that the idea of road rage comes from frustration, like animals when they're in a pack and they're in a herd, that they can't move. They feel like they're being trapped in and that threats are closing in around you. Psychologically and on a primal level, they say that that's kind of why. Not so much that you feel slighted by someone who cut you off and is now causing you to be late, that it's more, there's more primal reactions to it. And that's where my pops and I were talking, like, we don't even realize, without taking judgment away from things, that the way that our great-grandparents responded to things, whether it was things the world gave them or just ways they chose to respond to events, that directly affects the way you respond to things. Why, when you hear a sound or smell a smell or taste a taste, it triggers a thought or a feeling, or you feel the need to take action in some way? Whether you eat something and then you want to cozy up and take a nap, or you smell something and all of a sudden you're kind of on guard and something got your attention. Something is triggering that. And I think we as human beings, we try to put meaning on everything. Sometimes I don't know if we can always get the meaning, right? Like we could smell, a pie baking, and we could feel nurtured by that smell. And I don't know if you necessarily have to know anyone that used to make a pie and that have a warm meaning for you. I think it could just be a mixture of aromatherapy and your brain combining, going, that smells good. It's sugary, and I think my mouth would like that. I don't know. And my pops and I were talking too. You have to be real careful and like assigning too much meaning to certain things. It's fun to explore ideas and play around with thoughts, but you have to realize too, we do live in the real world. So living in the real world and living in stressful moments that can feel like you're almost predestined to respond certain ways to certain situations, I can tell you just from someone who comes from alcoholism, from addiction, from major behavioral issues when I was young and into my young adult life, the key factor, right, in decision making and being present in the moment that you're in is severely disconnecting yourself from any emotional feeling or physical feeling that you think you're experiencing. When you can observe something, a feeling in your body, a thought in your mind, and you can just observe it, just be with it, then you'll notice that there's a physical feeling that usually accompanies that, and you can pinpoint that feeling and go, okay. Usually it's at that moment that anxiety attacks start because we go, oh no, I'm dying. Oh no, my heart's racing. But if you still just don't see what we did there to cause the anxiety, we placed what we thought we knew was happening. Instead of just observing and going, oh wow, I smelt that, and all of a sudden I felt this. Or I heard that, a big one that I noticed. Slamming kitchen stuff, slamming drawers, slamming cabinets. You ever been around people that do that type of shit? You ever been around the people that are around those people? I knew somebody, lived with someone who, when they were angry, instead of speaking, they would slam shit, throw shit, make a big scene about it. I'm not one that I don't care to be yelled at. I went through basic training, all fine. I was, my parents spoke sternly to me. They were parents in the 90s. I'm not opposed to loud noises, right? In daily life, it happens. I get that. There's something about when someone is sending you a subconscious message of wham! It's a threat, right? This is the amount of force and anger I would want to put towards you, but I'm not even bold enough to say it. And it kind of puts you on this guard, like something might come across the top, right? So then you look around, and when people yell, when shit gets slammed, when things fall, and that startling feeling like, whoa, shit, what was that? Or, like I said in the last video, when someone slams something, you're like, yo, what is your problem? You're trying to address a threat that you feel like is coming for you because you don't know why person is acting this way. That is why things like passive aggressiveness and manipulation and gaslighting are forms of abuse, because you're literally implanting stress responses in people that don't need to be there. And we don't even realize that that's criminal on so many levels. You could ruin someone's life, and we now know their genes, because of simply not having the ability to regulate one's emotions and communicate them properly. Isn't that fucking tragic? That's tragic. Because we place so much importance on identifying this is a characteristic of this person, therefore this person is bad. Therefore I hate this person. Let me live my whole life hating this person, instead of this person used to or does do these things that cause me to react this way. I don't like that. I'm going to disengage. I'm going to find a way to heal from that, and then I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. If you guys aren't watching and you're only listening, I hit the mic on the last one. I got myself into a scenario where I was kind of dividing my face on screen, and it went awry when I went to the left. I digress. The important thing is, guys, it's the discipline, and it's a discipline that you form, in my opinion, through meditation. You may be able to do it through working out. You may be able to do it through just a few deep breaths in a moment. but it's practicing your reflex reaction muscle. It's a discipline. It takes discipline to stop yourself. Put the brakes on yourself. God, that's the hardest fucking thing we can do. Stop you in a moment. Hey, knock the shit off. We're not going to respond that way this time. You all know that's how my head sounds 90% of the time. Knock the shit off. We're not acting this way anymore. I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to put on some big loud bang, bang, fuck. I'm not going to do that this time because I'm tired of everyone around me being afraid to communicate to me. Because this is how I respond. Because any other time in my past that I try to communicate myself, it was seen as an argument, so now I start every conversation as an argument. Fuck. There's a lot of healing I got to do in that. That's hard. Let me just rationalize. Well, that person was an asshole. They used to do this. That's why I'm this way. So I'm this way. I don't think so. Discipline makes for better decision making. If you solely focus on, just make it a goal for one day. One day. This is a mindfulness practice in and of itself. Make it a goal for one day. I am solely going to observe how I feel like reacting to everything around me. When I wake up, what's the first feeling I have? Do I want coffee? Do I need to pee? Do I want to check my phone? Okay, I want to check my phone. Why? What do I care about? Oh, wow, I really care if people like that last post or not. Fuck, maybe there's something in there. All right, go to the restroom. Can't go to the restroom without my phone. Damn, I'm really hooked on this phone thing. Go get my coffee, scroll my phone. Fuck, dude, this phone. All right, I think I'm seeing a problem here. A lot of my time's being spent on my phone. Then you go through your whole day doing that, and you realize, fuck, I need more time in my day. And after looking at how you reacted or wanted to react in every situation, you can just look at what is. You don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to say, oh my God, I spent 10 hours on my phone today. Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you might do that. But did you do it well? Was it productive? Did it help you go towards the place you want to be in life? Or did you scroll through things that justify bad behaviors that you have? Both things could have happened, which will drastically change the way your day plays out. Again, let's stop judging things. You can use anything for good. You can use anything for bad. Drugs have medicinal purposes, and shit that can kill you could probably help something else. So it's like, yo, can we just realize that everything is about how you apply it and how aware you are in the moments and how you react. Discipline. That's it. Be the observer, not the judge. Just be someone in the courtroom. You don't have to be the judge. Just sit back and watch and have no stake in the game. See how much it changes your life. Whew. Love you guys. See you in the next one.